Finding info about an ellipse in general form. In the previous video, we took ellipses that were in general form, which is this form where it's really messy, and we turned them into standard form. So we took this guy right here and we turned it into this, and we were able to graph the ellipse. But sometimes all we want is some information about the ellipse, and so that's what we're going to talk about here. You might have a problem that's just like find the foci of the ellipse. You can't do anything with this ellipse in general form until you have converted into standard form. So I don't need to ask myself any questions at first, except for can I complete the square? And that's what I'm going to do. All right. The constant always goes over to the other side. Move him over. Boom. Those are done. For the x term, there is no other x term to group it with, so I'm just going to leave it just that way. For the y terms, these guys here, I'm pulling the number in front of the y squared out. Again, if this is confusing to you, because I'm going to go quick through the completing the square part, go back, watch the previous two videos. We do it extensively. All right, you're left with y squared. 64 divided by 16 is 4, so plus 4y. I need to add something to complete the square. I'm going to take the 4, I'm dividing it in half, I'm squaring it. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So I'm adding 4 right here. On the other side, I have 336, and the only number I've added over here is this 4 on the inside, but it's also being multiplied by 16. So plus 16 times 4, which, by the way, comes out to be which comes out to be 400. 400. So I have 25x squared plus 16 times this factors into half of 4 is 2. This factors into y plus 2 quantity squared. And then this is 400. To get the right-hand side to be 1, which is what I need, I am going to divide both sides by 400, dividing everything in my path by 400. 25 goes into itself once, it goes into 400 8 times. And then 16 goes into itself once, 16 goes into 425 times. What you're left with is x squared over 8 plus y plus 2 quantity squared over 25 equal to 1. All right, the idea is to find the foci of the ellipse. So we have options here. We have opportunities to do things here. We first need to know where the center is because you can't find the foci without the center. The h is going to be 0. The k is going to be -2. So the center is at 0, -2. The bigger number, the bigger number is underneath y, which means that the major axis is the y-axis. The major axis is the y-axis, which means the vertices are going to be up and down from the center. This right here, we have a squared is equal to 25. I don't really care about plotting the vertices, the co-vertices, because all I care about are the ellipse. I am going to write that a squared is 25. And I'm going to write that b squared is 8. You might be thinking to yourself, Professor Cook, what are we going to do? Like, square root of 8 is a weird number. Not a problem. We don't even need to worry about the square root. All we need to know now is we know that the major axis is y, which means that the foci are going to be up and down, up/down from the center. So it's going to be like up and down from the center, right? We just need to know how many units up and down. The answer is C units, right? But in order to figure out what C is, we need to use a formula. C is equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared, which is why I didn't even bother solving for B, because I just need B squared here. A squared is 25 minus B squared is 8. That is the square root of 17, which is clearly not a nice number. It should be a little bit bigger than 4. Let's see, 17 square root. It's like 4.1-ish, right? It doesn't matter. What really matters, we have this center at 0, -2. The foci, they're like 4.1-ish units down. 1, 2, it's going to be somewhere in here. It needs to go square root of 17 units down from -2, because it was at the y value was -2. You go square root of 17 units down. The first focus is going to be at the point, same x value 0, then it's -2 minus the square root of 17. And then you're going boop, square root of 17 units up from that y value. And this is going to be 0, -2 plus square root of 17. And yes, we have formulas for them, but I really think it's important to logic your way through these. -2 minus square root of 17 and 0, -2 plus square root of 17. Boom. That's it. Put it into standard form. All right. Find the length of the major axis of the ellipse. You're given it in general form, and we're going to put it into standard form. So the length of the major axis length is going to be 2a is the formula. So we just need to be able to find a. That's really all we need to be able to find. If we can find a, then we can find the length of the major axis. Unfortunately, it does mean we're going to have to complete the square here. So I have, let's see, I have x squared and then minus 4x. I have 9y squared and 18y. And I'm going to move the 59 to the other side. So the first one, x squared minus 4x plus 9y squared plus 18y is equal to 59. We'll do it by hand. X squared minus 4x, leave a space to complete the square, plus, I'm going to factor 9 out. 9, it'll be in the parentheses, y squared plus 2y, leave a space, because we're going to complete the square, is equal to 59. Right. There's going to be plus, you're going to add one number, then you'll add another number because you'll be completing the square twice. Come down here, you're taking -4, you're dividing it in half, you're squaring it. -4 divided by 2 is -2. -2 squared is 4. So you're adding 4 here. There's technically like a 1 outside here. So what if you want to do the multiply by the outside thing, 4 times 1 is 4. So you're adding 1 times 4. For the other set, you are taking 2, you're dividing it in half, you're squaring it. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So you're adding 1. But you're really adding 9 times 1 to that left-hand side. So 9 times 1. If you add those together, if you add these together, you should get 72. This guy right here factors into x minus 2 quantity squared. The y one, this guy right here, factors into y plus 1. quantity squared. On the other side, we have 72. To get the right-hand side to be a 1, we're going to divide both sides by 72. We get x minus 2 quantity squared divided by 72 plus y plus 1 quantity squared divided by 8 is equal to 1. Again, all we need is to figure out what a is so that we can find 2a. So the bigger number is going to be a squared, right? A squared is 72. That means a is the square root of 72. Yes, that radical simplifies, but I'm not going to bother. So major axis length equals 2 times a. A is the square root of 72. So that's our answer, 2 times square root 72. Boom. So it's just a game of complete the square and then get info off of your standard form. All right. That's the last part of general form here. Last bit is going to be writing an equation of an ellipse using given info, and we'll be doing that one in the next video. I'll see you then. Bye.